welcome to YOUCANIC. In this video we're going to go over the steps on how to replace the battery on a Toyota Rav4. Now here, this is a good battery. We're going to go over the procedure for demonstration purposes. What you need to do is, the first step is disconnect the negative battery terminal, and for that you'll need a 10mm wrench or socket. In this case we're using a socket wrench, and then you lose that, just give it a few turns, don't remove this nut completely, just get that loose, and lift up the connection and put it to the side. Now over here, lift up the red cover and push that down. That will expose the 10mm nut on the positive battery terminal. Loosen up the nut a few turns and lift up this connection. So this is a little bit hard to come off, but if we twist that a little bit, it will eventually come off, like so. So the battery is completely disconnected. The next thing is, we have this bracket here on top, and we need to remove both these bolts. In this case we're going to see if we can just loosen and remove this on this side here, and then we might be able to unhook on the side there. So let's start with that. Now you can see this other bolt right there, it's a little bit rusted, so you can spray penetrating oil if you need to make that a little bit easier. Now a lot of times this just hooks down on the side and you can't really see it, but I'll lift this up so you can see. So we didn't even need to loosen this up at all. You can see this hook right here hooks up to the side, and since you will be installing a battery that's the same size, you can really hook that back on and then tighten this side, and you can tighten a little bit more here on this nut if you need to. So I'm going to put this to the side. Now the battery is loose. You have this sleeve that it's recommended to reinstall this. Ideally you should put this back on just to protect the battery a little bit. So you'll take the battery, you need to use both hands, maybe you need somebody to help you here. Then you'll take your new battery, maybe have somebody keep these cables out of the way. As you can see there, you have this plastic tray on the bottom, and this tray has two pins here that stick out. Make sure that they line up down at the bottom. Okay, that's right there. Back on the battery, and you carefully lower the battery on the tray, then push the sleeve down. Now you want to make sure that the battery has the positive over here. You see the plus sign there, and the negative on this side. And then what you want to do is, first you want to put the bracket back on. You can see this hook right here. We're going to hook that down at the bottom. You can feel there's a little hole on the side there. Alright, that's connected. And see, if I try to lift that up, that doesn't come up. And then I'm going to put the other bolt on this side here. You're going to start threading this bolt here by hand at first. Make sure that it's going in. Otherwise, if you use a power tool or anything like that, if you cross thread. And so that's tight. What you want to do is, you want to make sure your battery doesn't move. If you install the same size, even if you install the same size battery, sometimes the housing can be a little bit different, so it might not be tight enough. So if that's the case, you can come to this one and you can tighten that. Okay, so in this case, most likely, in most cases, it's going to be perfect fit, but there might be a few cases where you need to adjust that. The next thing we need to do is we're gonna take a battery terminal cleaner, and then when you come here, clean the terminal. When with these, you want to go in one direction clockwise, otherwise you damage this brush. So you want to just go clockwise. You can go in and out as well, that's fine, but when you go clockwise, counterclockwise, it ruins the brush, but it will work. It will clean the terminals. And then we clean the clamp. You also want to clean this as well, the post. Okay, same thing over here. Clean the battery post, and we clean the clamp. Put that down for now. Alright, so next we need to connect the positive clamp, positive cable. We'll put that on the terminal, and you want to make sure it's pushed all the way in. Push that down. You don't want to hit it with any hammer or anything like that, because you can damage that post there, the battery post. And then get this tight. Now you don't need to go super tight on this nut here, but as soon as you see that clamp close up and this nut start to get tight, that should be enough. We'll put the cover back on it. Now we connect the negative. We'll put the clamp on the post, and now this is going to spark when we reconnect it. But remember, the black cable connects to the negative. This that has the red piece on it connects to the plus positive. That's very important. You don't want to switch these two, because then you end up blowing a fuse and the car is not going to start. Okay, so that's it. As far as the battery, you want to make sure you get a battery that does fit your car. Here there's a lot of room, so you could probably go with a different group size battery, but then you're gonna have to figure out what works and what doesn't. So ideally you want to stay with group 35 battery amps. Cold cranking amps are 550 amps. Reserve capacity is 19 minutes. So any battery that has at least these specs, like 550 amps, it could have a higher cranking amps. That's not a problem, but you don't want to go much lower than that, the 550 amps. 500 most likely will also be okay, but ideally you want to have at least 550 or higher. And that's it. It's very simple to replace the battery on the Toyota Rav4. Thank you for watching.